This is Steven from Metaknights, and this is
Mike.
And we're discussing Protagonist monsters, the big, bad, and ugly, and meta implications and anime implications.
We're going to talk a lot of shit. So let's start. I got one. We're going to start immediately. We're going to go through generation and kind of just peg everything and see how it goes.
Yep.
We will start with Yami and Dark Magician. So I kind of want to start with the idea of what do you think it was in the anime? Was it any good?
In the anime, it was only good through the thick plot armor Yami had. Comparing to Kaiba, for say, a 3,000 attack monster was easy to summon just as Dark Magician. Lacking 500 more attack points should have cost them the game numerous times. But you know, he's got the Millennium Puzzle, which is an instant cheat item to get him any card he wanted to the top of his deck. But that's my opinion.
I know, I definitely agree. I do think that in the anime, it was overhyped, especially with Heart of the Cards, Millennium. It kind of just gave the game away. I do believe at the time, for the anime, it was good, which we will tag in as well with how it worked in the meta at the time, if you would call it a meta. This is O2, which was absolute trash. You would never use Dark Magician. You would literally never use Dark Magician. I did run it as a personal bias, but I got shit on. I would never summon it. It was terrible.
Not only that, what kind of card got stronger when it got older with time was just effect?
That's some Joey Wheeler shit there. You can combine those two. Don't ever do that. Don't ever try that.
That was terrible. You would have to have a miracle to get that card off.
Nostalgia will just get you crushed at that point.
Yes.
I do believe, however, we'll talk about current meta as well. I do think the deck is very liable as a rogue deck. I don't, however, think that it's very competitive. You know, we have Navigation, Eternal Soul, Dark Magical Circle. I've been playtesting it a while. He actually bought me the deck. It was $90 or so. It's pretty good. It's fun. It's not necessarily something I would do regionals or, something bigger, locals.
The Odyssey might have a decent matchup against Sky Striker because the monsters are big in attack and they don't have that much attack in Sky Striker Trickstar.
Yeah, and I do think that the Xyzs and the Magicians are pretty, viable in the format.
We ever get the Dark Magician girl XYZ from Japan if America will stop changing artwork on cards, but that's a whole different video.
Yeah, we're not gonna get half the shit. I think that's good for Dark Magician. We can talk about Generation 2, Jade and Yuki, and Elemental Hero Neos. I'm gonna let you start that one before I start discussing.
Neos is probably the worst of the Protagonist monsters. To me, he looked dumb. His artwork was absolutely childish.
Steroids.
He looked like a dolphin on steroids.
Basically, the toe shapes he had too,
not only that, he did get support. He has new support coming, but the whole archetype has just been terrible from the beginning.
And it wasn't very good support either. That was the problem. Yeah. The only situation in which he was ever good is if you somehow drew into him and then also had the polymerization to be able to make a fusion with him.
Yeah, but you would fusion summon with Flare Wingman before you fusion summon a Neos.
And I feel like he was more of a protagonist card than Neos
was.
was.
Season 1, Flare Wingman was the ace monster.
Yeah, you open up with him and you should have stuck with him. Yeah, that's definite.
With Neos, the only good Neos spatial support I say was Grand Mole and Dark Panther.
Grand Mole, definitely. Yeah, Panther had his little debut for a while.
He's a personal favorite of mine. I guess that's biased, but Grand Mole...
No, he was fun. That's
especially Grand Mole back to 3. Yeah.
Makes it a little fun. I don't think we need to really go into the format at the time where he was, because nobody actually played him, and if they did, it was just because
format
they just got
was more
him.
dominated by Gladiator Beast.
Yeah, and back in the day with the Beast decks in general, Rescue Cat being big and getting into everything. Current meta, no, that's not even an option. Not even casual.
Not even Masked Heroes are in the current meta, and they're really good.
Yeah.
Well, personally, I think they're good.
We'll just skip past that whole shit spew of an entire protagonist card. We'll go with Yusei, Generation 3, and Stardust Dragon. I do want to open up by saying that in the anime, absolutely fantastic. That card was always great, and in the format in which he was released, that was legendary. Stardust Dragon was the funnest card to open up. If you got the Synchro level 8 and you got him on the field, at the time with everything destroying, he was just perfect. He would negate everything everything that anybody did, and you would summon him again, and he's a 25 beater, like...
Not only that, that's when priority actually had relevance.
Yeah.
And he had priority in the gate. Not only that, Starlight Road was also very powerful. When everybody was running Black Rose Dragon, you could negate Black Rose Dragon and drop your Stardust and have a second negate. Not only that, if you didn't need to negate anything, you would attack him for 2,500.
Yeah.
Or you could say drop Shooting Star or Shooting Quasar, some of the best support a Protagonist monster's ever had.
I think out of all the Protagonist cards, he had made it through more generations and more eras and formats than any other of them.
Utopia's close to them. Because
Well,
Utopia, until Link format, Utopia was in every deck because he was a generic rank 4.
And speaking of Utopia, that is Generation 4 with Yuma. Utopia. He was okay in the anime. That was fun.
I mean, he's only okay in anime along with the Link, with the heavy plot armor he had along with Yami.
Yeah.
He always had double for nothing, I believe is the card set, which always allowed him to attack after negating his own attack. He got some bullcrap plays. Not to mention all the variants of Utopia made him kind of annoying. Besides Lightning being the only one, that's the only reason he's been applicable in the meta until recently.
They kind of made it like an archetype that was kind of odd. Like
I mean, he
you
has
would just use number 39, and that was pretty much
about
it.
10 to 15 different number monsters just based off of number 39 now.
So in the format that he was introduced in, like he was pretty good. Especially like early
Generic
days.
rank 4 also. Yeah. Rank 4s were easy to get out. And
Satellar Knights.
Don't mention that archetype, I mean.
But in current format, he's still there. With the introduction of Utopia the Lightning, he definitely made an impact, and he made a return. Not that he wasn't played very much at all.
He's only played because of Utopia Lightning, though.
Yeah, and that is starting to dissipate in the format. I do see that, like, whereas he could be in somebody's extra deck, he's not so often anymore. He's not getting much play.
Same as Stardust. Stardust not so often because most decks are not throwing as much now.
I think ever since Link era, Stardust has kind of died back a little bit.
Omega's ran more than Stardust as a level 8 because it discards your opponent's hand. Plus, you have a boss monster on the field. After you summon it, and don't go back to your extra zone.
Yeah, and if you can run Omega, why don't you?
Yes.
You know? I do think that, but also I have that bias where, like, Lightning is really, really good against big dogs, especially, like, considering, like, local events we play, you know, a lot of oddities, and, you know, people are kind of, like, gathering their casual decks and playing.
Dinosaur Pet 60 card deck I faced in locals last. It was odd.
And Lightning comes in hand. So, we'll skip past him now. Yugioh, and this is Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon. Anime, okay. He did do very good, especially like, what was it? It's a double attack. That's
the damage to level 5 or higher monster being destroyed. But he was only good in anime.
Any monster, actually. I could be wrong. But
he was only good since he was always able to be pendulum summoned.
Mm-hmm.
When it came to the meta, though,
his scale's like 4, which is okay for bigger.
Yeah, but he was a level 7 at the time. Most pendulums did not have a level 1 to 8. So he was hard to pendulum summon in actual life. In the anime, we had, like, say, easy ways to summon him at all times. But in the meta, he was only ran for Clee ports as a search target and help Clees get through it until they got their support.
Yeah. I do think, however, if you have not played Odd Eyes, in general, all of Odd Eyes, please play them. They are one of the funnest archetypes to play. Casual, yes. Local level, definitely. You know, regional, etc. Maybe not so much. They're not very competitive, but they are super fun, and the style of them is so intricate. Like, you can't really match that.
Especially with Sky Iris, their field spell actually
yeah.
is kind of
Yes.
decent now.
Yeah. Really, all of the additional like spell support had really
Yes.
boosted them and made them that much
And
more
the new
fun.
Odd Eye support that came out at the end of RP.
What's the OCG one is absolutely insane too. Like when we get more support, they might. I don't think they're going to take hot spots, but they may appear more earlocals. So definitely, I would invest in it just because it's a really cheap, like $30 deck.
Beast gets banned. I don't think
that'll ever be banned.
No,
but
I don't need to be banned with all Sky Strike or Pendulum decks out there. It's very viable right now.
I do, however, know one card that needs to be banned, which brings us to our last generation. Firewall Dragon.
It absolutely needs to be banned. It is terrible to the Link format. It's ruining the Link format. It's the only Link monster on the ban list for a reason. It's the only protagonist monster that's been ever put on the ban list. And he's just honestly overpowered, too easy to get out, especially Goki decks out there.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, like, I thought Goki was really good. I still do, obviously. I really underestimated them, and I like jokingly, like when I go to locals, I like to take casual decks, just to have fun, and I went nostalgia, and I kind of built a Cosmo, and Cosmos are amazing, by the way, they're fun, but I got, game 2, I got put against a Goki, and, yeah, it's about 9 minutes of sitting and watching your opponent search through their deck, doing random things. It doesn't matter. Sure, Ash Blossom them, Ghost Over, cool.
Only thing you draw against them is draw.
Draw, yeah, definitely. But they abuse Firewall as much as a few other archetypes have, and that card.
That's why he's at 1.
It needs to be banned. But let's get to our original point. In the anime, fantastic. Obviously, introduces everything. It does exactly what it's supposed to do. I don't think that it being introduced into the TCG, I don't think they really anticipated what damage that it would cause for certain players and how much they would abuse it.
No other monster got banned as quickly when the archetype was introduced. When Synchros, Exceeds, Fusions, and all of them became predominant, none of them were banned as quickly as a Link monster was.
Yep.
That shows how much damage that card could create.
Yeah. And I think it's going to cause even more if they leave it. With new...
Not to mention Kriston Needle Fiber coming out. The glow-up bulb plays you can perform with that.
With the addition of Glow... Well, so if you use Glow Ball, you have Kriston, you special summon a tuner, you have all these plays, Firewall, Bounce Back, just repeat.
It's an easy Quasar.
It's not going to be...
Not to mention, you could get his variant out, which is only good if you summon him first.
I don't even want to hear that name.
Well, Quasar's not too hard to get over in this day and age, but his variant, I do not remember the name, but he summoned first negates absolutely everything. Summons, effects, and if he's on the field first, you can put
the new in the OCG?
Yes. He getting out just
I'm
stops
not
everything.
positive of his name. I mean, one of you guys could comment his name down below and help us out.
Yes.
That would be great. But yeah, Firewall just needs to be banned. I understand that it's really good, and it is a protagonist card, which obviously is going to make its way through in some form or way, which has failed miserably in the past.
I think it's only protagonist monster to stay this viable in the meta is this long, too.
Yeah. I do agree. I mean, well, other than Stardust, obviously. Utopia is kind of a hit or miss because it only relies on certain decks, and you use rank 4s, you use the Teller Knights, and then occasional people would run it in like Ritual Beast and that era. Even Shadal's had worked a little well. There's a few other decks in like that 2000, like 2013, 2014, 2015.
The only deck that really didn't run them at that time was Zectors, which relied on the rank 5s and above, and the rank 3s, which made Levier good at the time.
Yeah.
Utopia is pretty good. Stardust, Firewall Dragon. Firewall Dragon is just absolutely overpowered.
I do think out of all of the protagonist cards, Firewall is definitely the ugliest, the best, and the baddest. So,
Why did we ever get his alternate artwork?
oh, that's TCG for you. You shit all over us, Konami. You'll continue to do it.
Yeah.
But, yeah, those are basically just our little thoughts and opinions on all of the generations and the protagonist. The idea was, good, bad, and ugly of them. I do think of all, Firewall is the absolute ugliest. I'll refrain from use of language.
He's absolutely the best and ugliest, in my opinion.
Yes. Disregarding him, I do think the biggest impact out of all of them would be Stardust Dragon. And I do feel as if that's a card that had remained in the meta for very long, and that it had the most versatile effect. Yes, excuse, by the way, this is, July 4th weekend. We live in a metropolitan area that is absolutely crazy, high murder rate too. So we don't know if there's guns or fireworks. So let that go ahead and pass as it's blowing through
Those
the
were
speakers.
fireworks most of the time.
Yeah,
A few gunshots.
Yeah, that was a
Biggie.
38, that last one. But anyways, that was just our little gander at some of the stuff that we had collected through Protagonist, and we got some more Yu-Gi-Oh content coming up, guys. So you want to stay tuned and check us out next time.